So here we are with the standings now of the men's Omnium that we're turning our attention to. And it has been a great round of racing so far. 5 events have been covered. And you're just looking on the screen at the overall standings. Now, let's just explain to you what happens here, because previously the Omnium finished with a flying lap time trial, an individual time trial, but now it finishes with a points race. So basically what we're going to see is the riders have got their accumulated points. And then every point they take in the points race adds to that accumulation of points. So there is a great possibility of the race changing quite significantly by the end. That means that, as normal in a points race, you have 5 points if you win a sprint, 3 points for second, 2 points for third, 1 point for fourth. And the points get accumulated. The rider, if you take a lap, gets 20 points. So that means right now, if you are lying 20 points behind the leader and you take a lap, you're back equal on points with them. So there's a great chance for things to shuffle around all the time during this points race. So we'll keep you updated on it, and we'll try and explain exactly what is going on as this race continues. So in terms of the point standings right now, this is how things look. Fernando Gaviria, the rider from Colombia, has 170 points. He is the leader of the points race overall. Just 6 points behind him is Elia Viviani, who's the rider there in the blue, a Team Sky professional riding for Italy. 6 points is all that separates him from Gaviria. In third place, Glenn O'Shea, who is another 6 points behind. So there's all sorts of riders got chances of winning here. Jasper de Bust of Belgium, 140 points to the 170 of Gaviria. So really, the top 3 could shuffle around all over the place. We know Gaviria is a very, very good sprinter. This year he's been on form. He won 2 stages in the Tour of San Luis, beating Mark Cavendish. So he certainly has the power to be able to bring this race home. ...160 laps of the track. So the gun goes off to get the race started. There will be intermediate sprints throughout the race. 40 kilometers of racing in total. So the leader is the rider from Colombia, Fernando Gaviria. He is in a white kit. He has luminous yellow shoes if you're trying to pick him out. In second place, Elia Viviani in the Azzurra Blue of Italy, the Team Sky rider. And Thomas Bouda of France is also riding well, but Glenn O'Shea now has moved into the third place. Jasper de Bust of Belgium in fourth, and Thomas Bouda of France in fifth place. Viktor Manakov of Russia in sixth place overall. So those are the standings as we wait for the first sprint of the night. The rider from Hong Kong, China, has gone off the front here. This is Chung Wing Lung, who has got a little bit of an advantage on the rest of the field. They're in the red. And the rider from Hong Kong, China, a little bit of an advantage with 156 laps to go. Gaviria then has 6 points advantage on Viviani. Glenn O'Shea with 158 points. Remember, if you take a lap, it's another 20 points added to your total, which would mean that the likes of Jasper de Bust could bring themselves up to a medal position very, very quickly if they took 20 points. And Jasper de Bust is a rider who's won the Ghent 6 Day, which is all track-based, and they have races like this all the time, and Madison races. So you're always trying to take a lap. On the field. $152 laps to go, for the first sprint is coming up. And the rider from Hong Kong, China, Chung Wing Lung, has still got that slight advantage. Gaviria will ride relatively conservatively. He'll keep an eye on Elia Viviani. He'll keep an eye on Glenn O'Shea. And moving up on the outside is the rider from New Zealand, Aaron Gate, who's a former world champion. He won this event in 2013, and I know there are many New Zealand fans who like to watch this racing. It is Chung Wing Lung who takes the first points. Behind him is Aaron Gate, who takes second place. Jasper de Bust takes 2 points, which will move him closer to 96 points, to move him closer to the lead with 142 points. And Thomas Boudat of France now in 5th place, still with 139, moving a little bit closer than previously. So you get the idea then, hopefully. Keep up with me on Twitter at @McCrossan, @UCI_cycling. 148 laps of racing remaining. There's the Omnium standings. So all down to the points race. Gaviria of Colombia, 170 points. Elia Viviani with 164. Glenn O'Shea with the 3rd place position for Australia. Glenn O'Shea, world champion in 2012, a bronze medalist also in 2013. Can he bring another medal home for Australia tonight? So this is the first time in a world championship we've seen the Omnium finish with a points race, but the World Cups have been in this format for a little while, as we see an attack now. And the attack is coming from the Spanish rider to try and go across to the rider from Hong Kong, China. So in the red and yellow there at the front of the race is the Spanish rider, Unai Elariaga, who was 3rd on a stage of the Tour of Rioja in Spain, a good track rider. And combining at the front now as these riders go clear. 144 laps to go. Things are back together a little bit. And a rider hits the deck, and in fact it's the Colombian rider. The leader has hit the deck here, Fernando Gaviria, and he's going to hurt there in that fall. So this is the moment for a rider to get back in terms now. Elia Viviani, look at that, he touched wheels. Oh, he almost took the Dutch rider out as well, Tim Velt. He had his foot out of the pedals. So the sprint lap, Elia Viviani takes the sprint. That's an important moment for him, because that means that Elia Viviani is going to edge a little bit closer now to the leaders. Johnny Adibon of Great Britain goes clear and attacks So that was an interesting sprint there for Viviani. Gaviria is still off the track. So Viviani takes 5 points, Martin Irvine takes 3, Glenn O'Shea takes 2, and Rodriguez takes 1, which means Viviani is only 1 point now behind the lead. So this race now is looking interesting. Gaviria is back on the track. He's now 1 point ahead of Elia Viviani, but he goes clear with 136 laps to go. He tucks into the wheel with the rest of the riders. 135 laps to go. And these 4 riders are still clear of the pack. Johnny Dibben is going through to the front. Aaron Gate is with him, the Brazilian rider also there. And behind them is going to be an interesting race. So Gaviria right now has only got this slender 1 point advantage, but right now he could be rectifying that. Elia Viviani managed to get himself into a situation where he was in touching distance of winning, and Gaviria now is about to take a lap on the rest of the field. So they're heading up now. Johnny Dibben takes 5 points, Aaron Gate takes the next points behind that, and they also take 20 points for taking a lap as well. So this race is completely transformed. Dibben takes 5, Aaron Gate takes 3, Gaviria takes 2, Rodriguez takes 1 point, which means Gaviria is now, with the 2 points he's taken and a further 20 points, he is now firmly at the top of the leaderboard with 192 points. So the pace has gone out of the race. ...120 laps to go. There's the standings. ...126 laps to go. So Johnny Dibben took those last points. Aaron Gate took the 3, Gaviria took 2. 125 laps to go. Off the front slightly is Martin Irvine of Ireland. He's a bit further on down the standings. But right now, Glenn O'Shea still sitting in 3rd place, the Australian rider with 160. ...123 laps remain. Aaron Gate on the front, in on the wheel as the 2nd place rider as they swing up the track yet again. Well, that little group of Gaviria, Dibben, Gate and Rodriguez taking the lap before anyone really realised. They did it very, very fast. So on the front of the race now is the Danish rider. The sprint lap is on then, and the Danish rider there took some points. That's Kasper Pedersen, who's actually been second in the junior Paris-Roubaix. He takes 5, Jasper de Bus takes 3, Glenn O'Shea scores some points to move on to 162, consolidating his position in 3rd place overall. There's the result of sprint number 4 of 16. Kasper Pedersen with 5 points, Jasper de Bus with 3, Glenn O'Shea with 2, Tim Veld with 1, leaving the standings as Gaviria leading with 192, Elia Viviani with 169, Glenn O'Shea with 162, Jasper de Bus with 145. So still, I would say, the bronze medal is to be decided, and so is the silver, but right now Gaviria's in a fantastic position, and after a crash, pretty incredible that he's now already got a lap, and he is right firmly up there at the top of the standings. Aaron Gate trying to go again, the former world champion. And the rider from the United States of America making a little bit of a move. That's Jacob During sitting on the back of the group. Unai Elorriaga from Spain in the red and yellow swings up the track. Kasper Pedersen going across. 116 laps to go. Riding in here for Switzerland, Gail Suter, who works for the UCI in the Off-Road Commission. He works down there in Egel in Switzerland in the UCI headquarters, where Matthias Brendler beat the hour record on the track. So in his lunch times, he probably manages to ride the track a little bit, and here he is in the World Championships. 114 laps to go. A little group of riders going clear, and it's Jacob During on the front, the Spanish rider Arriaga in 2nd place, Gail Suter in 3rd, and now Jonathan Dibben of Great Britain trying to go across. He started very well in this Omnium competition. Thanks for joining me on Twitter tonight at @lacrosse at UCI_track is where you can talk to us on Twitter as we go through the next sprint. Raman Chishku is the rider who takes 5 points. Kasper Pedersen 2nd. Aaron Gate accumulating a few more points for New Zealand. Jacob During takes 1 point as they get closer now to taking a lap on the rest of the field. It was a problem for the Brazilian rider, and that is Gideone Rodrigues as he swaps his front wheel over. 109 laps to go of this final points race in the Omnium. The Omnium contest then, 6 rounds of racing over 2 days. Shishku took those 5 points, Pedersen 3. One rider now going clear of the race, right there at the front. The Greek rider, Ioannis Spanopoulos, with a little bit of an advantage on the rest of the field, led by Martin Irvine of Ireland. Here's the standings then. Keep up to date, keep with me. Gaviria leading, 192 points. Remember, 20 points if you take a lap. Viviani in 2nd at 169. Glenn O'Shea in 3rd, 162. And here's the run through. Gail Suter riding very well, 5th in the world, 142 points. Aaron Gate in 6th, 140. Thomas Boudat of France in 7th place. Spanopoulos about to be caught by the field led by Thomas Boudat, the former world champion from last time. He's up there at the front of the race. Tim Veld now hits the front in the orange and white of the Netherlands. Gaviria looking very composed on the front of this race now, isn't he? He looks like he has everything where he wants it, despite crashing earlier on. Very impressive riding from this rider. Martin Irvine makes an attack. All these riders still prepared to work hard, and of course it's very important in terms of your world standing, in terms of points for World Championships and Olympic Games, that you continue to race hard. Every position that you get gives you more points, and it's all important for the run to Rio 2016. That's only a year away. So close now. Martin Irvine off the front with the sprint lap coming up now. The Irish rider who is sitting right now 18th place, 61 points Martin Irvine has. He crosses the line. Elia Viviani scores some points in second place, so he takes 3, which edges him a little bit closer now to Gaviria. So Irvine took 5, Viviani took 3, Jasper de Buth took 2, and Gaviria scored another point to go to 193. So he's tracking Viviani very, very well indeed. There's the result of sprint number 6 of the 16 sprints. And Fernando Gaviria leads with 193 to Viviani with 172. Glenn O'Shea sitting in the bronze medal position for Australia. 98 laps to go. And this points race calms down again a little bit. Thomas Boudat on the front. And now the French crowd go wild because they have seen the Frenchman trying to take a lap now. And if he did, he would move closer to the 3rd place of Glenn O'Shea. He's currently on 139 points. 20 points would put him on 159, but Viviani refusing to let the Frenchman go. Gaviria right on his wheel. Suddenly, lots of riders on the attack. And that attack calms down. And we see now Glenn O'Shea at the front with Elia Viviani and Gaviria. They are the top 3 riders who are in this points race. Boudat looks around. .92 laps to go in this points race here in the Omnium, as we see the Belarusian rider just going clear. We'll just carry this through the sprint. The Swiss rider Gail Suter, who works at the UCI, as we've mentioned, rides on the track in Aigle as he goes clear now on the sprint lap. These 2 riders looking to score a few more points. This would take Gail Suter closer to the points of Jasper de Buth. This rider is about to get himself into the top 4 places in the world. So the sprint, Shishku took it for Belarus. Gail Suter in second with 3 points. Manikov with 2 and Tim Velt with 1. And Velt now goes on the attack. I thought we'd take the opportunity, because I saw her around the commentary area, because we want to know out there as viewers, you want to know what's happening on the track, what it's been like, and you can't get much quicker than a rider who's just ridden in the World Championship scratch race. So a very warm welcome to a British rider with us now. A very warm welcome to Eleanor Barker.
Hello.
How are you, Eleanor?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Pretty disappointed with this week, I guess, but yeah, pretty good thing.
So how has it been in the British camp? It seems like, you know, from your point of view, it's one of those situations where you're used to getting the gold medals.
Yeah, I guess we've all been a little bit disappointed, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you have a good year, sometimes you have a bad year, and it just so happens that unfortunately, as a team this year, we've not actually come away with any world titles so far, which I guess everyone's collectively pretty disappointed about.
Just checking, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
She couldn't hear me, so she couldn't hear my question, so she's just chatting away, which is good. She's a pro at this sort of thing. 86 laps to go. Yeah, I guess you're used to the medals, you're used to gold medals, but as I was talking earlier on to Rob Hales, who's been in the British camp, and he says, you know, as Thomas Budak goes on the attack, you're still there at world level winning silver medals and all that, but I guess the attitude of the British camp is you want golds and you're not happy unless you get them.
Yeah, I think as a whole that is the attitude of the British camp, and it's the kind of attitude I've got myself as well. So yeah, individually in the scratch race, then it was a kind of a win or nothing tactic, which was the same kind of thing that we did in the team pursuit. We tried a pretty risky strategy. We did some long turns that we've never ever tried before, but yeah, you have to take those risks, and sometimes they don't actually pay off, which is unfortunate.
Tell me about that team pursuit then. I mean, the world record for you was 4:16. Australia rode 4:13. Was it your change? You tried a change of strategy to try and go faster, and just sometimes that doesn't pay off. Do you think you've got enough in the tank as far as the squad is concerned to be looking at those sort of times?
I think we can't take anything away from the Aussies. I mean, there was no way that we would have gained 3 seconds. There was, yeah, it's pretty much nothing we can do, to be honest. They had it in the bag. So at least we can't really look back and say, if only we'd done this, we would have won. Yeah, so for this championships, they had it.
They nailed it. Let's just take this through the sprint. Gaviria, who is the leader of this points race, is the leader of the overall. He takes 5 points. Viviani with 3, Elariaga with 2, and Luke with 1, which puts Gaviria on 198 points. Viviani with 175, Glenn O'Shea with 162 points. In terms of this track then, what has the atmosphere been like? What's this championship been like in comparison to other world championships you've ridden?
I guess the crowd's always pretty good at a world championships. Yeah, everyone's really into the racing, so yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been nicer this year than last year because the track's just generally in better shape. Yeah, Cali's a partially outdoor track, so I guess if it rains, then that's the end of the race for the day. So it's nice to be in a properly constructed track this year. It made a big difference.
Yeah, very true. So what happens for you now? You've had your World Championship, you've been racing really, really hard. Do you now have a little bit of a break, a chance to have a holiday and then regroup, or what happens next?
Yeah, I'm not going on holiday, but I'm going to go home for a little bit and see my parents and my family. Just have a little bit of time of not thinking about cycling, and then hopefully come back a little bit more energised.
Thomas Budak is trying to go across now. 76 laps to go, and Fernando Gaviria, Viviani and Glenn O'Shea are off the front of this race right now. The top 3 riders in the Omnium. Budak is desperately trying to go across, and every time a French rider goes on the attack, the crowd goes absolutely wild. And how does this compare to London, Eleanor?
I guess having a home crowd is a massive advantage. You just get the atmosphere all the way around. So obviously the French crowd are going to cheer more for the French riders, just as the British are for the British riders. So it is nicer to ride at a home track, but at the same time I really do like this track, and it's been pretty fast. It's been some good times, so that's nice to see as well.
It's 8 metres wide. Is it very, very different in terms of how you ride it? And the bankings are 14 metres longer than they are normally, like on the Manchester track. So how does it ride?
I think it makes more of a difference in the bunch races, to be honest. I guess technically in the team pursuits it makes a little bit of a difference to your changes, but not massively. I think it just makes it easier to ride from the front in the scratch races because there's less time on the straight for people to come around. So I think that's a tactic that a lot of people are adopting in this points race now.
72 laps to go as we see Aaron Gates going off the front. We'll just take it through this sprint. I'll give Eleanor one more question. So Aaron Gate now on the attack. Jasper de Bust in second wheel right now. The Belarusian Shishku is in the 3rd place as they go for the next sprint. Aaron Gate leading, a former world champion. as they hit the line then, and Aaron Gate will take the 5 points. Jasper de Bus takes 3, Shishku takes 2, and Lung takes 1, which leaves the standings with Gaviria leading after that sprint with 198, Viviani with 175, Glenn O'Shea with 162, and Jasper de Bus with 150. Confirmation on the screen then after sprint number 9. Aaron Gate takes the points, Jasper de Bus in second. And it means as we count down towards the conclusion, Gaviria 198, Viviani 175, Glenn O'Shea 162, and we need a big attack now for a rider as Thomas Boudat goes on the attack to try and put himself in with a chance. So Eleanor, Rio, I guess, is next on the horizon. A long time away, but for you as an athlete, what happens now? Is all that focus towards Rio?
Yeah, I guess that makes it a bit easier for to get over this year, I guess, because all the focus is on next year. So this is really just a stepping stone to get there. But I think it's just going to be pretty similar preparation, just going through the World Cups and Euros and the Worlds again to try and get qualification points and try and get to Rio in the best shape that we can as a team.
Well, look, I know you'll go back, you'll get your focus, you'll work out what it is you need to do to get back, to take Britain back to the top of the board. Go back, recover, have a holiday. Thank you for taking the time. You didn't have to join us here and give the viewers a bit of your thoughts and interaction. Thanks, Eleanor Barker.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thomas Boudat off the front, on the attack. Thomas Boudat now on the attack, giving the French fans something to scream and shout about as he goes clear. Can he take a lap on the rest of the field? The flags are all out. The crowd are going pretty nuts out here in this arena. He's getting close, and if Thomas Boudat gets there, he'll be on 159 points. He'll move into 6th place overall. He is getting there. Thomas Boudat, any moment, is going to be in a situation where he could be challenging for a medal if he carries on like this. This is impressive from the Frenchman. The crowd have loved watching him over the last couple of days. He has the most unusual style in a pursuit I've ever seen. He doesn't look up. He looks down at the black line the whole time. I've got no idea how he knows which direction he's going in. Now the sprint's going to open up. That's going to hurt him. But he's going to take the 5 points in this sprint lap. So Boudat takes the 5 points. He needs to press on a little bit now. Behind him is Gaviria, looking really easy. And he almost simply just rides through and takes 3. Glenn O'Shea takes 2. Gail Suter takes 1, which means that Glenn O'Shea is now 2nd overall. Gaviria with 2:01. Glenn O'Shea with 1:84. Viviani with 1:75. There's confirmation of the sprint number 10 of 16. And Boudat is still sitting a few metres, maybe 30, 40 metres off the front of the race with 59 laps to go. Gaviria leads then, there's confirmation. 2:01 to 1:84, Glenn O'Shea now in silver medal position. Elia Viviani in 3rd, and here's the rundown of the top 8 riders, down to Thomas Boudat with 1:44, who's now been caught by the peloton, so things are shuffling around. Viviani is the rider who's hurting right now. He scored some early points, but now he's got to really hold on to his bronze medal. The Team Sky rider last night in the elimination was absolutely spent. He was lying on the track for an awful long time last night, trying to recover from the effort in the elimination. And you wonder whether he's just really suffering. He's got himself locked onto the wheel of Jasper de Bus of Belgium. There's only 5 points separating those two riders, and Viviani realises that if he to conserve his bronze medal, he's got to sit and watch the Belgian rider. Meanwhile, Glenn O'Shea and Gaviria are locked in combat in the middle of this peloton right now. Well, thanks to all of you for joining me here on tonight's coverage. @lacrosse.nat, UCI_track is where you can join us for tonight's racing. If you've got any thoughts, any comments, or whether you're just enjoying the racing here from Saint-Quentin in Yvelines here in Paris. Great atmosphere, sold out tonight, 5,000 fans, really noisy. Doesn't get much better than this as far as track racing is concerned. Heading towards the next sprint with 50 laps to go. Two laps to go now. And Martin Irvine of Ireland is slightly off the front. Irvine slightly clear. And as they head towards the sprint lap now, it is Martin Irvine who took the 5 points, Gaviria took 3, Glenn O'Shea took 2, and Lucas Liss took 1 point. So confirmation of sprint number 11 of 16. Tim Velt takes 5, Irvine 3, Gaviria 2, Glenn O'Shea with 1 point. And that means that Gaviria consolidates his lead even further. Viviani is firmly locked in. You can pick him out in the blue, the Azzurra blue of Italy. He's just trying to stay somewhere near Jasper de Bust. Looking back, de Bust has gone to the back of the group, and here are the standings on the screen. The top 8 there, another attack. He's not going to give up, is he? But he doesn't look forward. He just bumps down onto the boards on the inside of his track there. Thomas Boudat, he has an amazing style. Rides for Eurocar. Gaviria now is one of the hottest properties in world cycling. He's going to have some tests, apparently, with the Ethics Quick Step team. Patrick Lefebvre particularly keen to sign Gaviria. And having beaten Mark Cavendish in St. Louis, and Cavendish apparently was just amazed at the speed of Gaviria's jump, and that comes from this track speed. An interesting question from Henrik: which of any nations competing here don't have a velodrome? Depends whether you're talking about an indoor or an outdoor velodrome and the sort of facilities. Ireland have a kind of track, but not an indoor one. So Martin Irvine, who is here, Ireland have to base themselves in Mallorca for the season, so they can build up towards the racing. And if you compare that to Great Britain, who have now about 5 indoor tracks, it's very, very different. So there are riders who are at a little bit of a disadvantage. Most of the other places have tracks, though. If you look at the sort of facilities they have, it just is very, very different. New Zealand now have their track down in Cambridge. Colombia have their track in Cali. Italy, in terms of facilities on indoor tracks, not fantastic. Actually, Elia Viviani trains down in Aigle in Switzerland as we hit 41 laps to go. And Tim Velt, at 40 laps to go, takes the 5 points. Gail Suter is moving up. Aaron Gate takes 2. Shishku takes 1, which means that Gaviria still leads with 2:03. Glenn O'Shea 1:85. Viviani with 1:75. And now Gail Suter 7th overall on 1:49. 12 sprints gone of the 16 sprints. Gaviria with 2:03, Glenn O'Shea 1:85, Elia Viviani 1:75, Jasper de Bust in 4th place. Only 5 points is what he needs to go equal on terms with Viviani. Other nations just thinking about the tracks they have. Australia have a number of tracks. Switzerland have the track in Grenchen, where Jens Vogt beat the hour record, and also the track in Aigle at the UCI headquarters. And the only other place that may not have a track is Hong Kong, China. They may not have a track. I don't remember them having a track down there in Hong Kong. I might be wrong. Someone will probably correct me. So hopefully that answers your question, Henrik. Thank you very much for that. 36 laps to go now. And it is Aaron Gate, the former world champion, on the front. Jasper de Bust with Elia Viviani almost attached to his back wheel. Swings up the track. And another attack happens. Jonathan Dibben of Great Britain, who comes from my home city, down in Southampton on the south coast, as he goes clear, looking around to see where everyone is. And Jonathan Dibben, 12th overall in this Omnium contest. Ioannis Spanopoulos is the rider from Greece who swings up the track and lets the rider in black, Aaron Gate, go through. Martin Irvine also. And Elia Viviani sprinting across. All a little bit of bumping and barging going on at the back of the group. 33 laps to go. Aaron Gate trying to move right up on the standings here. He's got 167. And thanks for the message about the track in Ireland. It's great to have a facility over there, and I hope you get your indoor track as well soon, which I understand is pretty close to happening. Any facility should be held on to. I remember in Southampton we had an outdoor track and then it was taken away, and everyone wishes it was still there, the outdoor track we all raced on. Glenn O'Shea just raced through there to take the points. 5 points to him. Viviani scores as well. Gaviria gets the third place points, and a photo for the last points in that sprint with 30 laps to go. But it is confirmed. Glenn O'Shea with 5, Viviani with 3, Gaviria with 2, Aaron Gate with 1. Glenn O'Shea now is moving a bit closer to Gaviria. This race may not well be over, but Gaviria will keep an eye on O'Shea. There's the point standings, 205, 190 to Glenn O'Shea, and Viviani now moves a bit further ahead, 178 for the rider from Team Sky, who has won stages of the Tour of Beijing, Tour of Dubai recently. Also Tour of Turkey he's won stages in, and the Dauphiné, as he is now the designated sprinter for Team Sky, along with the lead-out train they have now. Andy Fenn, another useful sprinter. 27 laps to go. There's Glenn O'Shea. I was talking to Glenn yesterday. He was giving me a little bit of information on what this track is like to ride. Viviani swings up. So we're getting close to the conclusion of this Omnium. Overall, this is the final race. Six different individual races. We had the scratch race at the beginning, won by Viviani. The individual pursuit, which was won by Glenn O'Shea. The elimination race, won by Viviani. Then we moved on to the time trial, won by Lucas Liss. Viviani won the flying lap, and it's only really Viviani's individual pursuit and time trial that have hurt him, because he's had so far 3 individual wins, which left him in 2nd place before this started. Gaviria, though, has been more consistent. 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 8th, 1st, which gives Gaviria at the top of the leaderboard, and now the most points in this points race. 23 laps to go. So the Uzbekistan rider going clear, Timur Gumarov. 22 laps, 21 laps to go as they go across the line that time. And it is Tumarov who is just trying to score a few more points here. And the attack comes from Kasper Pedersen, and Aaron Gate goes through as well. And the points go to Kasper Pedersen, Aaron Gate, Lucas Lissen. Gumarov scores 1 point for Uzbekistan. Kasper Pedersen then moving a little bit further up in the standings for Denmark, puts him into 13th place. Aaron Gate now is in 4th place overall. Confirmation of sprint number 14. Pedersen with 5, Gate with 3, Lucas Liss with 2, Gumarov with 1. Only 2 more sprints left to go. The standings, as you can see, Gaviria is the leader, 205, to O'Shea with 190, Viviani with 178, and Aaron Gate with 171. Jasper de Bust on 170, so close between those two. But Aaron Gate of New Zealand edging a little bit closer to that of Viviani, who now has to worry about 2 riders for his bronze medal. But he needs 12 points to go ahead of Glenn O'Shea, so Viviani would need a lap. As Thomas Boudat decides he's going to delight the French crowd again. He looks down at his stem more than Chris Froome does. Thomas Boudat with an advantage on the rest of the field. The peloton led by Gail Suter of Switzerland as he swings up. Thomas Boudat being urged on by the French crowd. Martin Irvine doesn't want to let the Frenchman go, so he's going to chase him down. 15 laps to go now. And Thomas Boudat still clear. Bit of an advantage on the rest of the field. 14 laps to go. And we have this attack still from Thomas Boudat as he remains clear. And Jasper de Bust tracked immediately by Elia Viviani. Viviani is not going to let de Bust go anywhere. And I'm getting lots of information on tracks around the world. 2 tracks in New Zealand, 1 in Invercargill, and the most recent one in Cambridge as Viviani sticks on the wheel of his closest adversary, or one of them, Jasper de Bust. Aaron Gate is now on 171. Tim Velt going around the top of the track as he tries to take a few more points. Tim Velt right now is 11th overall in this Omnium contest. He hits the line. Jasper de Bust actually scores some points. And that is now a little bit dangerous for Viviani, but 7 points will separate those 2 riders with 1 more sprint left to go. Confirmation sprint number 15. Tim Velt with 5 points, Jasper de Bust with 3, Viviani with 2, Martin Irvine takes 1 point. And only 1 sprint now remains, with Gaviria leading, 205 points so far. Glenn O'Shea with 190, Viviani with 180. So Viviani needs to take a lap if he wants to overtake Glenn O'Shea. It's not likely to happen in the last 8 laps. Glenn O'Shea is looking here at a silver medal for Australia. Viviani looking to take a medal here for Italy. We haven't had an Italian medal yet. The Chinese rider starting to go clear, and that is Liu Hao. Liu Hao in the red and yellow, trying to just get a bit of an advantage on the rest of the field. 14th overall in this Omnium with 7 laps now remaining. The top places, just remind you, Gaviria says to the rider Glenn O'Shea, come through, but the standings now, Gaviria leads 205. After 6 rounds of racing, he's got the battle scars on his shorts there, having crashed earlier on in this race, and still he has held on to his advantage. So Gaviria with 205, Glenn O'Shea with 190, Viviani with 180 points. Gaviria almost touched the wheel of Viviani then. That could have been close on the run into the finish. And Viviani senses the medal he's been searching for, as our rider from Hong Kong, China, who was involved in the action earlier on, Chun Wing Lung, goes to the front, but now another big attack, and that's from the United States of America, Jacob Doering. Doering trying to just get the final points of the evening here in the Omnium. He's being chased there by the Russian rider who's tracking him, Viktor Manakov, the bronze medalist in 2014. 3 laps now remaining in this Omnium, 6 rounds of competition. It's all coming down to the final sprint, but as long as Gaviria gets across the line, he will be the winner of this Omnium overall. The big attack now with 1 lap now remaining, and it is the rider Jasper de Bust who's trying to get the 5 points, and that would get him close to Viviani, but it wouldn't mean he'd get the medal. Jasper de Bust trying to take the final 5 points. Manakov and Aaron Gates all across the line in front, and de Bust takes 5 points. Gaviria sits up. He is the world champion of the Omnium. Gaviria, 2 times a junior world champion on the track, is now the world champion of the Omnium despite crashing. Glenn O'Shea will take the silver medal for Australia, and Elia Viviani of Italy will take the bronze medal. And after last night, when he was suffering lying on the track, after a very, very exciting final elimination, Elia Viviani now, after a night's sleep, has got the bronze medal he's been looking for. Final sprint then, Jasper de Bust 5 points, Viktor Manakov with 3, Aaron Gate with 2, Elia Viviani with 1 point. So Gaviria kisses his medal, and he is now the world champion. The final classification then, Gaviria leads with 205 points, or wins with 205 points. And he's now going to go across and just be congratulated. He congratulates Viviani. Here he goes, he's going to take his lap of honour now. And while he does so, he's going to ride around the track. There we go. He'll take his lap of honour. And whilst he does, because what's coming up next is the sprints again. We're going to turn our attention back to the women's sprint finals. An appropriate moment to welcome another guest here with me, who is a very good sprinter indeed. He's a Keirin world champion. As we see Gaviria being congratulated. What an emotional moment as he wins the world title. A very warm welcome to Shane Perkins.
How you going? Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Lovely to welcome you here to the track. His sister congratulates him, of course. Juliana Gaviria, she's been racing here. Gaviria is an amazing sprinter. He's got hardly any lycra left on the back of his shorts there after the crash. Shane, look, very warm welcome. Congratulations on the Aussie performances over the last few days. It's been immense for you, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been fantastic as a team, and to be part of the team. I'm very, very proud of what the team's been able to do. It's yeah, fantastic to be part of.
Now this track, we're going to turn our attention now to the women's sprint finals. We've got Qianqi Zhong and we've got Stephanie Morton riding for the bronze. There's our classification of the Omnium on the screen. Christina Vogel will ride again for gold against Alice Litley.